Ladies and gentlemen, but probably mostly gentlemen according to my YouTube demographics statistics, I am Xarkun and this is World of Warships Legends. I regret to inform you that I neglected my duties to provide you with some excellent news about the Tier 7 French cruiser Charles Martel, which, if you're familiar with my MO when I stream, then you know I like to end all my streams with a game in the Charles Martel, and that's exactly what you're seeing in front of you right now. This was the final game on my stream this most recent Friday, and it ends with a rather spectacular throw on the part of one of my teammates, and I don't intend to shame this person for this throw or anything like that, but I do want to show you the throw and make some comments on it. But I also want to talk about the fact that the Charles Martel received a glorious buff at the beginning of this update. This buff, well, we were not notified that the Charles Martel would be getting a buff in the patch notes, not in the advanced version that I saw, and not in the final public version. This had to be added as sort of an addendum onto the patch notes in the form of a Discord announcement. They informed us on the update day that Charles Martel had been given access to the main battery reload booster, and as you can see, I've got 3 of them. Lemonnier is my commander, and I've got fully packed in his legendary row of skills. Thus, I have 3 of every consumable. You get a base 2 reload boosters with the Charles Martel now. Of course, if you want to use these reload boosters, it means foregoing the hydroacoustic search consumable, or the sonar, in less words. You have to go into your consumable loadout, click, or whatever you want to call it, hit X or A on the sonar, and then choose the reload booster to take its place. If you do that, then you get 15 seconds of your reload cut in half. And the reload on the Charles Martel, if you build for it by using the reload module in the 4th module slot, well, the reload was already great before it got access to this main battery reload booster consumable. Keep in mind that the Charles Martel has 8-inch guns, and well, most cruisers that have 8-inch guns tend to have a fairly slow reload. The exceptions are things like the Wichita, for example, which also has 8-inch guns but has very quick reload. Things like the Baltimore at Tier 7, 8-inch guns, relatively slow reload. I think you can only get it down to maybe about 10 seconds, 9 seconds at best. Same thing with the likes of Hipper. Well, with Charles Martel, you can get the reload down just below 9 seconds. 8 seconds on 203mm guns is already fantastic. With the main battery reload booster, you cut that down to around 4 seconds for 15 seconds. And that gives you a little bit of extra firepower. Turns this ship into an absolute threat, a menace. It was already kind of a threat before it got access to this reload booster, but now, if you run into the Charles Martel and you're playing a destroyer, or you're broadside to it in a cruiser, look out, because that reload booster is designed to punish exactly those kind of mistakes. And it's actually really interesting because Chili Games and I, you know Chili Games, he is another community contributor for World of Warships Legends, and we go way back. Well, way back about a month ago or so, 2 months ago. How long has it been? I don't know. It was around the time that the Belfast 43 campaign was ongoing, and there wasn't a lot of new content to explore in this game, so we, Chili Games and myself, we took to the PC, and we ground through the French cruiser line, got all the way up to Tier 9, I think, to the San Louis. I don't know if Chile ever finished and got the Henri at Tier 10. I haven't quite gotten it yet. But we did play the Charles Martel on PC together, And on there, it did have access to the main battery reload booster, and Chile was sort of lamenting the fact it didn't have it at the time in Legends. But here's the thing that I noticed while playing the Charles Martel on PC. With the reload module in the module slot on PC, you can really only get the Charles Martel's reload time down to about 11 seconds, significantly slower than the 8 seconds you can get it down to on Legends. And I assume the reason it can have that quick of a reload on Legends is because originally it did not have access to the main battery reload booster, and thus you compensate for that, or the developers compensated for that, by allowing it to have a little bit quicker of a reload than it could get on PC with a similar build. Now, though, they have not touched that reload at all, and they've simply added the main battery reload booster to it, which is to say that the Charles Martel in World of Warships Legends can fire its guns with the reload booster in effect, and without it, faster than the Charles Martel on PC, which, if we're going by DPM alone, makes the Charles Martel in World of Warships Legends a superior ship, and it is a fantastic ship at Tier 7. I think it is vastly underrated, and we nearly carry this game with this excellent Tier 7 cruiser. The only reason we don't, well, you'll see that soon enough. But why is the Charles Martel so good? Well, number one, that high DPM made even higher now with access to this reload booster. I think this Leningrad is about to find out just how dangerous the Charles Martel is with the reload booster now. Let's see, is he going to come around this island? I think he does. We've got torpedoes launched at him. We're about to reverse into a smoke screen provided by a friendly destroyer. Leningrad comes around the corner, and instantly there goes that reload booster. And yeah, 4-second reload, we're able to pump out this 203mm French HE very, very quickly, and it absolutely wrecks the Leningrad. He's completely demolished, and we even get the killing blow. That might not have been possible before the reload booster, but now, holy crap, if you see a Charles Martel in a destroyer, you'd better respect it, especially if it has a main battery reload booster handy, because that thing can fire at you as quickly as a Wichita. Now, even quicker maybe. The Wichita might not even have a 4-second reload. It might be more like 5 seconds. I don't know. In any case, that DPM, that in and of itself is scary. But since this is a French cruiser, it also gets very long range on its guns relative to other cruisers, and its shells don't take a very long time to traverse all that range. This is no Des Moines or Baltimore with its shells that hit really hard but take ages to get anywhere. This is more like the Russian cruisers in terms of its shell velocity and shell travel time. Very quick, very effective at long range, so it can be a snipey kind of HE spammer. And since they're 8-inch guns, that means the HE can pen 32mm of armor without the use of the equilibrium of power skill. So it can do a lot of HE penetration damage to a lot of battleships and a lot of cruisers, and because it's French HE, it can start a lot of fires. That's sort of the good gimmick of the French HE. It's very good at starting fires. Plus, you've got the Charles Martel's AP, and French AP tends to pretty much have the best penetration in the entire game. The French AP is very quick, and it doesn't have a lot of air drag time on the shells, I think is probably what it is. It could be something different. I don't know. It just could be the shell velocity. In any case, the shells on any French ship, battleship, cruiser, destroyer, they tend to lose a lot less penetration as they travel further down range, whereas AP shells in other nations don't always maintain that excellent penetration at long ranges. The Germans, I think, are a good example of this. But with French AP, you can citadel other cruisers all the way across the map, so long as they're giving you broadside. The French AP shells do not have the improved penetration angles of the American AP, but they hit damn near as hard, and you need to respect the French AP if you are in a cruiser and you see the Charles Martel. Do not give the Charles Martel broadside. He will absolutely wreck your life with his wonderful French AP, and now with this newly improved reload booster. But as you can see, things are not going well for my team. There's just me left. I am, of course, a cruiser, and I've got one cruiser teammate left, versus 2 enemy battleships, another cruiser, and a destroyer. Here's the cruiser. It's a Suzuya. Oh boy, scary ship indeed. It's a light cruiser. It's got more guns than we do. Doesn't have a faster reload, actually, but it's got more guns, and the HE hits really, really hard. And apparently the AP is good enough to keep breaking my turrets. In fact, it just permanently broke one of my turrets, which is really annoying. But one thing about the Suzuya, it also has torpedoes. You could say they're superior torpedoes to the torpedoes I have in every way except one, which is their launch angle. I have a much better launch angle on my torpedoes than the Suzuya. If Suzuya wants to get his torps on me, he's essentially got to give me flat broadside, whereas I do not have to give him flat broadside. Oh no, I can get my torpedoes launched at this angle, and that is all I need to take out the Suzuya. So even in sort of a brawling situation, the Charles Martel isn't all that bad. And Richelieu? Well, Richelieu is a French battleship coated in 32 millimeters of armor, and as we've already established, the high explosive of the Charles Martel can penetrate 32 millimeters of armor and deal damage. Plus, we've got an excellent fire chance, so pretty much anywhere we hit the Richelieu, note the 5 penetrations and 1 shatter, well, pretty much anywhere we are going to be able to get penetrations, and we're also going to be able to get fires. Now here is maybe where I make a little bit of an error. I've got 4 kills to my name, I'm trying to get the Kraken unleashed, and as you can see, we are far ahead of the enemy team on points, 800 points to 500 points. Even if I go down, we still win, provided my other teammate is not sunk, and he's over there, behind an island. The Richelieu is over here, near me, and there's a chance I can take out the Richelieu with my torpedoes. If I can do that, then the cruiser only has 1 enemy destroyer left to deal with. So I make the error of getting greedy, and I don't try to escape from this Richelieu. I invite him to come around the corner, but I just do not have enough hit points, and I am not quite able to launch the torpedoes. I probably should have pulled the trigger as soon as I could, but I hesitated for a second, and I get taken out. Well, no big deal, you might say to yourself, because all this Zara has to do is turn right around and sail off into the sunset, and he will win. But do you think he's going to do that? Of course not. This is World of Warships Legends, and this game would just not be the same if your teammates didn't try to win harder. So 925 points on the board versus 575. Full health Richelieu to deal with, not full health Zara. Now, in this Zara's defense, the Zara is a fairly well-armored cruiser. I think it's got enough armor on the side in some places to potentially bounce 15-inch guns. So maybe that's what this Zara was thinking. Maybe he thought he'd be able to sort of get in here and deal some damage to this Richelieu without being demolished in return. Maybe he thought he'd be able to take out the Richelieu, get his torpedoes. Frankly, I don't know what he thought, but, well, he thought wrong, because here's what's going to happen. He's got 20,000 hit points left. There's 43 seconds left to go in the game. Richelieu is about to reload any moment now. This guy is pointing his bow at the Richelieu, and the Richelieu can overmatch his bow, no problem. So he goes from 20k to 10k. 30 seconds left to go in the game. The Richelieu's got a fast reload. That means he's going to be able to shoot another salvo before the time ends. And maybe this guy thought he had enough time. But if that's what he thought, he miscalculated. He does not have enough time. He goes down, and we have to suffer a terrible, tragic loss. So, not to be too harsh on this player, pick on him or anything, we all do stuff like this. Everybody's thrown a game in their time, me included. But, for future reference, if you have 900 points and the enemy team has 500, you're the last ship left alive, and you're in a cruiser, and there's an enemy battleship, maybe, just maybe, run away from the enemy battleship, run away and take the win. Don't try to win harder, because, well, you might lose. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.